Other than the work that you're doing for the Space Frontier Foundation and all the help that you've done with SEDS, now that you graduated, what else are you doing currently?
So my day job right now is, well, use the word day somewhat figuratively, but my primary job right now is actually working for Sierra Nevada Corporation on the Dream Chaser program. So supporting both the engineering test article, our drop vehicle that we're going to be dropping relatively soon, as well as developing the orbital version that will be flown at some point.
Is your specialty on that more of like the framework for it, or is there any like specific systems?
So I'm working particularly on the flight control system.
Okay.
So for reentry.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. Well, with all the different conferences and different things that are going on, what makes the NewSpaceConference stand out to people? That why should they attend a NewSpaceConference as opposed to some of the others?
So the key thing, how we're setting ourselves apart with the NewSpaceConference as compared to, say, I guess you have a few different types of conferences, right? You have conferences like Space Access, which are more of your nitty-gritty kind of technical conferences where people can talk, really shop more than a lot of other conferences. So you have that. Then you have conferences like ISDC, which serve as more of kind of overall themes of, this is the space industry, this is kind of where we stand, this is where we're going. But they touch on kind of these partnerships between civil commercial space and investor and commercial space, but that isn't their focus. So our focus is really trying to bring these three sectors in together and figure out how we can collaborate and how we can leverage each of them against each other more. And particularly by being located in Silicon Valley, we're able to do that much more so than really any of these other key space conferences.
What are some of the highlights or game changers that you foresee over the next couple of years that are going to be able to ramp up the space industry and be able to draw more attention to NewSpace, not just the conference, but just the industry in general?
So I think some of the key things coming up are, number one, with COTS and the ICAP program. COTS is very successful with what SpaceX has been doing recently, and they'll, I'm sure, continue to deliver on that. And Orbital should be putting their first payload up there soon as well. And so if we can have two companies that are delivering COTS payloads up to the station, that'll be really great for helping to create a commercial environment for delivering payload. And similarly, on the ICAP side of things, we have three companies, the company that I work for, Sierra Nevada, and SpaceX and Boeing, that are all developing vehicles to deliver crew up to station as well. And so over the next few years, when we get to the point where these three designs progress and NASA chooses which ones it wants to use as servicing the station, hopefully Congress lets NASA choose at least two companies to go forward, and that will enable commercial competitiveness and things like that for getting access to the station for crew. And then NASA can work on taking off and doing the cutting edge and focusing its resources on other things. So we can let commercial do what commercial needs to do and let NASA do what NASA needs to be able to do. One of the other things I think is if you look at where Virgin's going, they're getting ready to start doing powered flights soon. And when they're able to take that off and start serving suborbital customers, I think that's going to be a really big deal, because that'll be one of the more, I think, at least near-term lucrative solutions that we have, or lucrative markets that we have. And hopefully they'll be able to start turning a profit, which will be a really great kind of first example of how a company can be profitable in the space industry.
If everything goes well and there is more attention, you've worked a lot with different sort of advocates and trying to get the word out there. And what is it that you see as tactics that have worked, tactics that have failed, and what people can do within the space industry to help get the word out there to the general public?
About the importance of
space travel and what's happening, and understanding that there is still a space program.
Yeah, so I think kind of a couple parts to that. Number one, if you're trying to relate to people, you need to figure out what's important to them. And so I think that's one of the key things that people kind of fall on their face on when they're trying to talk to the general public, that a lot of us, we like space for whatever reasons. And so it's hard for us to think, oh, but maybe this person just doesn't have that passion about it, so how can I explain to them why they should care that there's a space program. So I don't necessarily have the answers on how you necessarily do that, but if you maybe you can talk about the applications that space and the trickle down from putting stuff into the space industry has the trickle down into everybody else's everyday life, and what that does to technology, what it can do for medicine, what it can do for other industries. That's kind of one way you can do that. Some of it's just kind of pride for what either your area, your country, your species is doing. It's kind of maybe one of the other things that you can try to push on. But I think one of the key things is just trying to figure out how to relate to people, to explain that to them as to why should they care. And then the second thing, of course, is just the amount of misinformation that's going on about the space industry. I mean, you go up to average Joe, and they say, "Oh, but we don't have a space program anymore because they canceled the shuttle," or "The shuttle is what we use to go to the moon," right? And yeah, I'm not sure what necessarily is the best way to try to explain that to people more. I think that that's something that NASA would be very good to try to outreach more. If they could have more of a focus on being able to do that, then I think that would help a lot. And companies like SpaceX that have a very strong PR machine, that helps things a lot as well. And if other companies are able to, as they start to have success, they're able to develop a bit of a PR machine as well, I think that will also help the industry. NewSpace 2013 conference is going to be held on July 25th to 27th. And so it's going to be basically in downtown San Jose. And so the hotel is conveniently located pretty close to the airport. It's the same hotel that we were at 2 years ago. And you can find, we have on our website currently a basic outline for the schedule, as well as we'll be posting soon. Well, we have a Twitter feed where we've been putting on keynote speakers as they're confirmed. Relatively soon, we're going to be putting up more detail on the program, as well as an initial speaker list. So you can stay tuned there. We do have registration live, and early discount registration is available for the next couple of months. So definitely great to get in there and get that reserved and taken care of, as well as your hotel reservation. And so newspace.spacefrontier.org is our website, and I recommend.
Is there a pre-registration available?
Yes, that's what we have now is the pre-registration rates. So the lowest rates that we have available are now, and that includes your basic registration, if you want to include meals with it, and if you want to go to the gala, so those are all sold as kind of a la carte.